Hello everyone, I'm here with another game, and recently we have got our 75th chess grandmaster from India, Pranav V. So one of the boys whom I know really well since so many years. Congratulations, Pranav. And on this occasion, I just thought of one idea. That idea is I just want to come up with uh, games of each and every grandmaster right from Viswanathan Anand to Pranavi so far. If you get one more grandmasters, I will add his or her name also. So that's fine. So after that, I will come up with the games of international masters of India, and I will come up with the games of um, WIM, WGM, all these players actually. Okay. Then, so that's why. So let me start with the game of Vishwanathan Anand, who and the pattern in this particular series is I'm just taking the game of that particular year in which those players became grandmaster. Vishwanathan Anand became grandmaster in the 1988. So that's why I took one of the games which he played in 1988 against one of the stronger grandmaster than him at that time, Gaila Sachs. Okay. So this is a game like it didn't contain so many tactical ideas or something, but it's very strong positional game in which Anand used the pawn weaknesses in opponent's camp. So let's go ahead with the game. I will just start now. One sec. Yeah. All right. Anand started with pawn e4, then c5, nf3, e6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, and pawn d6. This is 7 engine variation of the Sicilian defense. So Sachs usually play this regularly. He plays this line. Recently, I was going through the stream of Jebo Badur in YouTube, and he was showing one of the games of Anatoly Karpov, who played against Gyula Sachs. And in that game also, Karpov played pawn g4, Keras variation. Um, Even here also Anand played pawn to g4. So, I may not compare that Karpov versus Sachs versus Karpov Sachs versus Anand versus Sachs. But anyway, let me show you this game plainly, and we'll just learn some ideas from this. Okay, as this is the same year of Anand who became Grandmaster in 1988, right? So now after g4, Sachs played h6. Otherwise, White was planning to play g5. Anand was planning to play g5. Okay. So after h6, now rook g1. Rook g1 is primarily played just okay. No, yeah. Rook g1 is fine. It's not like it. Okay. Anyway, this is one of the typical moves in the opening. nc6. Now bishop e3. g5. So he anyway wanted to stop g5, or maybe for some reason he played. And here Anand played queen d2 and knight f d7. Triple O, knight e5. Transferring knight to e5 in this variation is one of the typical ideas. So that's why black played g5 first to secure the f4 square for the secure the f4 square, so that white will not play pawn to f4, and white will not grab space, right? Okay. So after nd5, now here Anand played bishop e2, just developing the pieces. After a6, and he came up with h4. Now pawn takes h4 is answered by pawn f4. So that is the typical idea. So that's why here black played just bishop to e7. After that, pawn takes g5, pawn takes g5. In this, fine. So there is nothing special is happening. So that's why Anand tried to just challenge in the open file. So rook h1, rook g8, because rook into h1, uh, rook into h1, rook into h1. Again, black will face some complications around the in the h file and on the king side. So that's why Sachs just played rook g8. You can use this kind of ideas in your own games, because this is one of the typical ideas when someone is challenging in the open file in which you are weak. Then you can just move the rook side and just decline the exchange of that particular rook. Okay, now rook h7 capturing the 7th rank. Bishop d7, where Sachs is preparing to go for queenside castling, and Anand double the rooks in the h5. So knight into d4, bishop into d4, queen c7. Of course, he is definitely preparing to go for triple O, and here Anand played queen e3, trying to play bishop b6 in case if opponent does castling. Okay, fine. In the anticipation of the triple O, white is planning to play bishop b6. Okay. Now queen c6. So playing against the threat of bishop b6 after castling, after black does castling. Okay. Now king b1. These are all the standard moves actually. We all know that Anand plays pure strong positional moves most of the times. That is the main reason I like his positional mastery. Okay, not only me, everyone will like basically. Correct? Yeah. So king b1, triple O, and here Anand decided to go for some kind of imbalance in the position. See, that kind of things are very important to extract win in any kind of position. You should look for some kind of imbalance in any situation. Now, Anand gave up the dark square bishop and captured the pawn on f7. He says that, okay, fine, let me give double bishop advantage to my opponent. That's okay. I can defend against I can defend against double bishops, but I want to win a pawn. So that is the Anand's decision. It doesn't mean that he's simply playing that. He's just playing because he knows how to play this kind of positions. Correct. So that's how we are also learning, how to play some kind of situations. You can give up your dark square bishop in this kind of position. Where in Sicilian, it is considered as dark square bishop is considered as one of the strongest piece. Anand gave up that piece for the knight, and he gave his opponent to use the dark squares for his own bishop, but still Anand defended against those threats from opponent's dark square bishop and managed to win the game. Let's see how he did it. Okay, yeah. Now bishop c5 attacking the queen, and here queen went to g3. Defense from the bishop attack, also planning to capture it. Probably he may capture, he may not capture, because if he capture that, again something like bishop d4, queen g3, yeah, that possibility there. Fine, no problem. Maybe he can capture it, but immediately Sachs defended it with the bishop d4, where he's posting his bishop in the strongest square. Now Anand doubled the rooks in the 7th rank. You use your advantage, I will use my own advantage. That is what Anand's argument here. That's what he's saying, Sachs. You do whatever your intend to do. Whatever your advantage says that I have two bishops. I want to use my two bishops. That's what Sachs' opinion in this position. Anand's opinion: I'm a pawn up. I want to get my pieces to your camp. That is, I want to get both the rooks to 7th rank. And here, fine. If black is planned to capture on c3, okay. Anand is ready to capture with queen. Let's say if bishop into c3, queen into c3, queen into c3, pawn into c3. This first structure is okay for Anand, because he is already having extra pawn and there is no compensation for the black for this lost pawn. Correct? And he is also having advantage in the 7th rank, where he has two rooks in the 7th rank. So this structure is perfectly playable, and it's completely, most probably it's winning. Most probably completely winning position, I guess. Where you can even ready to get bishop c4, rook into d7, bishop into d6. Some ideas are there, right? Yeah. Okay. Um, Alright. After Anand plays rook to 7th rank, Sachs played rook g8, challenging the rooks, because whenever your opponent is having pieces in your own camp, you should try to exchange some pieces which is possible from your end to go for exchange of the pieces. And okay, Anand said it's fine. I will play queen of 3 and I will support my rook with my another piece, and I am also planning to capture your rook on f8. Sachs didn't do anything. He just supported the rook on f8, and here a3, getting rid of back rank weakness in case if some tactics are coming upon me. Because Anand is not doing any. Anand can't do anything much in this position. So that's why, okay, let me improve my position further, my king's position. I can just get some escape square for my king. Even I can even try to play bishop to c4 in case if needed, right? So those are all the Anand's ideas in my opinion. So bishop c6 and here bishop c4. Yeah, Anand got it. Yeah, king b8 and here queen d3, b5, bishop b3, rook takes f7, rook takes f7, rook h8. So now Sachs captured open file where he's trying to get into Anand's position. That's okay for Anand. That's not a problem because there is no coordination for black in this game with respect to that rook. If rook is going to white's first rank, that's okay for white because he's not worried about that, because there are no other pieces which help, which coordinate with the rook to generate some attack on white's king. So that's why Anand is not worried about that. He just got rid of that kind of checks all the things. So prophylactic move he's playing king a2 and bishop e8, rook f6, attacking e6 pawn. Okay, I'll put right. Yeah, bishop d7, defending against that. Now knight e2, planning to exchange some pieces. Anyway, he's already having extra pawn. So whenever your opponent is having two bishops, usually we will have to exchange one bishop so that it will reduce some of attacking, not necessarily attacking, the activity of the bishops. Queen e7, attacking the rook, then queen f3, protect the rook, and yeah, you are ready to capture knight into d4 anyway. Bishop c5, and here capture the 7th rank again. You are having that chance, right? So go for it. Now queen d6, get the queen in, queen f6. Now rook c8, and here Anand wanted the knight on d3, so that's why he played knight to c1 after a5, knight d3. Now a4 is not possible because knight into c5. If a into b3, knight into b3, so that's not a problem. But if queen into c5, then bishop into e6 is coming up, correct? Yeah, probably yes. Yeah. So after that, black played bishop d4, and here queen e7, attacking the queen. So queen into e7, rook into e7. Now e6 square is threatened. Bishop c6. You take my e6. I don't mind. I want to take your e4 pawn. That is Sachs' argument. Just Anand said, okay, let me just protect my pawn. I don't mind. I don't want to capture your pawn, which is already a weak pawn. I will capture it for free. I don't want to give my pawn and capture it. I will capture it for free. That's what I mean. But Sachs played rook f8. You want to activate the rook. But here Anand captured on e6 with the rook. So now after king c7, capture on e5, bishop into rook into f3 and rook into g5. So now Anand is having 3 extra pawns. You don't mind to give up some pawns back. Rook g4, now bishop d5. Bishop d7, e5. If Sachs wants to exchange rooks, Anand is okay with that because he's having two extra pawns. If you give up one pawn, now rook e3 and pawn e6, as we already discussed, it's okay to give up the extra pawn because he can even get b5. Yeah. Now bishop c8, rook g8, king d6, bishop into king into pawn. Now rook e8, king d6, e7, and here Sachs resigned because this is purely technical winning position for white. And later I can give up these two pawns and capture those two pawns. Get the rook here, something like that. Okay, so here Anand managed to win this game. Thank you. See you in next video. Bye.